And I gathered that yours was the only bathtub, apart from bathtub.
I think so. I don't remember the other. I don't remember the other barracks having one, and I lived in it for a while after we started being discharged, and it did not have a bathtub. No, it was a two-story building, just like an Army barracks. But we had kind of a special built barracks.
Did maids come in to clean the barracks, or were you responsible?
We did it. We did our own work. We were responsible every Friday night. In fact, I have some character tours some of the girls had sent me of getting ready for inspection on Saturday morning. And they're quite cute. But we did our own work. We had to stand out for inspection, the same as everybody else. We did not pull KP now. We had our own set of cooks, is that what you'd call them? People that worked in the mess hall. And then they hired girls from the valley sometimes to help. And the men did not pull KP either until a step toward the end. In other words, they hired from the valley. But everybody wanted to eat in the white mess hall because we had the best food.
How many could your mess hall accommodate?
Oh, I'd say 200 or 300 probably, because we run from 11 to about 2, and on the weekends we were authorized to invite a guest on special holidays.
And if the mess hall could accommodate 200 to 300, I don't think there were that many.
We had 300 and something likes at one time of year. I could give you the exact number at one time, but I can't now.
I have some figures I put together once where that it grew from under 100 to over 400.
Yeah, we were between 300 and 400 when they started discharging, and I don't remember now what the figure exactly was. I think I probably have it in some orders at home somewhere, but I didn't have a chance to look all that up.
No, it's not necessary. Thank you.
We were a good-sized group, and as I said, pretty nice group.
You mentioned that the military and the civilians really didn't mix. How would you characterize, or what do you remember about relationships between the military and the civilians?
Socially?
Socially, yeah.
None.
Yes.
There was none. The only thing we did was babysit. If they needed babysitters, some of the whites did babysitting. I only did it a couple of times because I did not like their attitude toward us. I'm sorry to say that, but that was the way they were. And I got to admit they were better educated and older. And
well, do you mean by the attitude, did you think they were taking advantage of you? Or
yes, I sure did. I took over for a girl one night, went up and kept this particular captain's monsters, and they were little monsters. And when I got home, he didn't even want to pay me, period. And he gave me a couple of dollars, and I had to walk home. Now, that cured me of babysitting right there. But a lot of the girls babysit for their bosses because they felt they had to. Fortunately, my bosses didn't have any kids, so I didn't feel like I had to. But I always had the opinion, and I don't know that this ought to be put out, that they definitely thought they were better than we were. And this isn't true because we had some very brilliant youngsters, young men that were in service, that were scientists, and did a lot of work. But a lot of them never got any credit for it either, because it was all given to a few select people. I don't know whether you want to cut that out now or not. That might not be something that they won't know.
No, that's one of the reasons we're doing this interview project.
Is that?
I feel that there's many more stories to be told that haven't been publicized, and documenting the SEDs and the military is part of this.
Well, let me say this. I have read everything practically that's been written on the place. No one has ever told the story from the point of the average person up here. It's always been told from the point of the scientific personnel. And I resent very much people like those two women that went down and cut all these coupons out. I could have done that. I got the papers at home. And put that book together and sold it for $12.95. Now, they didn't do any work. They went and put what the papers, cut what the papers had put in and sold it. That did not tell the story of Los Alamos back in the days, of the early days. The fun we had, the picnics we went on, the hikes. Like we used to hike out to where the golf course is, take a lunch and hike back in. Nothing was ever told about the ordinary person. My son wants me to do it. I don't know whether I'll ever get around to it or not.
Oh, I think you definitely should.
Well, I feel very, very strongly about this, that too much attention has been given to the few core people, like scientist-wise. The women that wrote, 6 women, wasn't it, wrote a book on...
Standing by and making...
Yeah, ever what it was. And I take exception with what they said in that book to a certain extent. It irritated me. Sure, it was true maybe for some of them, but there was a lot of us out there that was just living ordinary lives and living ordinary events and having our ordinary fun. And nothing has ever been said about them. Of course, I agree it's my fault I haven't done it because I was trained later as a journalist. But, you know, when you do so many things, you don't have time to sit down and really think about it, and I'm afraid I'll make a goof, too. So, you know, it takes a lot of courage to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, that manuscript was written many years before for a publisher who solicited it. And then when it was submitted to him, he said, oh, that isn't what I wanted. So it literally sat many years waiting to be published.
Well, it should have never been published, is my feeling. I know you have it up in the library, and you probably have the one on the clippings, too. But the best book was ever written was the one on the detonation of making of the bomb. What was it, Trinity?
Richard Rhodes, The Making of the Atomic Bomb.
Trinity is good, too. But that is strictly, you know, scientifically angled. But when it comes to living up here, I don't think anybody has really ever told it like it was.
Well, you know, you've got your own.
It's my son.
We'll be happy to see you.
I'm sorry.
Take you manuscript.
My son bought me a tape recorder to do it. And every time I start, I get scared, so I put it down. It's not I don't think I can do it. It's the fact I'm afraid I might hurt somebody's feeling.
Well, then you just leave it to be published posthumously.
That's
You don't
something.
worry about it.
But it was I mean, there is a fun, satirical story to be told up here. I like some of the things that I went through, like getting the girls off the bus and getting them up here, and how we played tricks on each other. I mean, just a life-living story, not the fact that they were scientists that had their own little world.
Do you remember some of the practical jokes?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you?
Well, we had one girl in the barracks that drove the taxis down to Lamy to pick up the VIPs, and she slept right in front of me. So she had a bit of drinking. She come in, we decided to make her quit making so much noise when she come in, so we short-sheeted her and put Coke bottles from the door to her. We slept right next to the door, and we put Coke bottles from the door to where she'd get into bed, and oh, she got mad. And we'd short-sheet people and, you know, things that you usually would do. I'd have to, but it was a funny world we lived in. Crazy. But, you know, young people do crazy things. And it's never, I mean, I've got notes. Someday I'll get them out and put them together. But it was kind of like being in a sorority. If you went to college, you know what we did then. We'd short sheet and put sugar in the bed and maybe started perfume, and we also had people that were not very